Hey there, it's Derek from Pacific Coast Auto in Japan here. We're looking at a Mazda Proceed style camper. It's a little something different from what we're used to. This one has a 2.6 liter gasoline engine in it, has 117,000 kilometers. This one was bought from auction. We're going to be sending this one out. This one I believe is going to the USA. Got an auction sheet here, I'll translate that for you in a second. We'll take a look at the exterior, interior, and check it against the auction inspection sheet. Of course, if you have any questions, you can post those in the comments section. If you have questions that really need to be answered, it's best to send us an email about that. Okay, so 117,000 kilometers. Engine running condition is good, though it makes a hissing sound, which comes from the aftermarket style air filter here. Now besides that, there's nothing wrong with it that I can see. I'm not sure exactly how much power this gets from a 2.6 liter inline 4-cylinder. But it does look like a heavy-ish camper, and so I suspect very slow speeds on the highway. That said, the interior of this is really cool, and as long as you get there, you'll be at the campsite with a cool camper that nobody's seen before. It can be a pretty cool thing. I'm going to close the hood here. You can hear that hissing. It's kind of the sound that you get from a sports car usually. Wow, I got something weird here. Check this out. The hood keeps itself open because the hinges need to be greased. Okay, and I'll go ahead and turn the engine off for now. Wooden steering wheel, and here you can see 117,027 kilometers. Okay. So condition-wise, it's not in the best shape, but it's not in the worst shape, and it is a unique style of camper that you're really not going to run into that often. Something like this can definitely be brought back into really good condition if you want. It has a few dings and things in the front end. The front bumper is fairly rusty. The interior needs a few things here and there, but it doesn't look too bad. Mechanically, it looks solid and good. Let's have a look over the auction inspection sheet now. This is the information given by the auction at the time of purchase. Now keep in mind, this is all of the information that the auction gives you is this, maybe a few pictures of the exterior. Okay, so it's a 1994 Proceed. This is a Camp Plus camping. Okay, 2.6 liter gasoline engine, color changed to black. That's not original. And the seller says it's black color change to black, and so it's probably a different shade of black or just a repaint in a black, and they didn't care to match the color exactly. I'm not entirely sure what the original color was, but it does have marks sort of like a repainted car. This type of scratching that you see there, or paint cracking, is the type of fade that you only really get on an aftermarket style of paint. Okay, the electric cable will be sent to you. We actually got that in the office. We put it into the camper, and so that's an electrical hookup for when you're at the camping site. Here's the notes on here. It's an auction grade 3, kind of a low-ish grade. I'll mention that in the comments as to why that is the case. Interior is C, maybe about right. It's 4-wheel drive. It's 2-wheel drive or 4-wheel drive selectable, and then it has a transfer case for a low gear ratio 2 if you want to do some climbing. It's on some bigger tires than original. The originals are 215 and these are 265 70 R15, and they're 2016 tire, and they have lots of tread on them. And I think over fenders might be aftermarket too, because if it's a 215 on there originally, I don't know what the original wheel offset is because these are aftermarket wheels, but I suspect that these are pushed out wider than they typically would be on the regular version of the Proceed. Not sure if this is aftermarket when they got the camper. Okay, what else do we got? 4-wheel drive, aftermarket 15-inch wheels. I'm sorry, I can't read this one. Something ventilator, fridge, and this is the problem with campers, is a lot of camper-specific words I don't know, and our Japanese staff are going to translate that for the auction sheet, official translation. Portable navi, reverse camera, power steering, comes with a cable. Okay, the report here, color changed. Aftermarket steering wheel has wear on it. It's a cool wooden version. It's actually not worn that much at all. Interior liner ripped and modified. The modifications are speaker holes cut into the door cards, and the rips are in the door cards too. They're not that good. They could be repaired if you want to keep them. Might not want to keep them. And then both of the doors have this kind of rip around the handle. And both of them, this one not so bad, but the one on the other side is a little bit more rips in this door card area. It is a complete flat card. If you wanted to replace it, it's very easy to do so. You can replace it with aluminum sheeting or a wood panel like I did for my original Mini. Okay, interior liner ripped and modified. The modified is the speaker. Okay, driver's seat has a rip 10 centimeters and is saggy. Interior wear and dirty. Left baffle dented. This is why it gets a 3 grid. A left baffle is inside here. There is some damage to the frame section. The baffle is like, well, right there. There it is. So this section here, they claim is dented. It looks to be okay to me. It's going to be a little bit off. When a baffle is dented, you're going to want to watch the seam along here and along here and along here. Everything looks to be okay to me. There is this. That's body filler. There's been a rust repair in this section before. What else do we got? Interior wear, dirty, scratched. Beds, or the back section is scratched, paint fade, and paint peeling. That's the camping box. Engine room, there's an oil minor leak. It looks okay to me. I don't see anything that's dripping down. Underside and frame have surface rust. Again, this doesn't look bad to me. There's several aftermarket parts on it, various scratches and dents. And then looking at the body diagram here, let's do a little zoom. So C3 holes in the front bumper. Luckily, these aren't on any of the metal of the body. It's just exclusive to the bumper as far as I can see. Paint peeling and paint cracks on the hood, as well as a U2, which is a medium dent. You may have seen that already, but I'll show you again. Over fender A3 and paint cracks, kind of one of the bigger areas of damage on the body. And then an A3 on the back corner is a large scratch, and an A3 on the back corner here. This is actually a full-size A3, but it's branch scratches. And let me show you what that is, because you can probably... You get these when you go camping. You can probably... And actually the way that the light catches it, you can really see them a lot. You go through a forest and the branches on the trees just down your side, and it actually looks worse than it is. It's not very deep. It's on the windows too. You can polish it out usually. Depends on how deep it is and how painful those scratches were. And while I'm back here, I might as well show. There's this. And... few scratches and stuff around here. I guess they called that an A3. It doesn't look that bad to me. There's one up there too. Okay, what else do we got? These campers sometimes can be full of things to talk about. The uneven paint in A3, that's what they called that. Uneven paint means the color doesn't match or the finish doesn't match. In this case, it's body filler to repair the fiberglass and then paint it over. That's why it's uneven paint. And I don't think they did a great job repairing it. But you know, it's not structural. It is in an out of view area, and it's probably part of the camper you're going to crash anyway. So maybe just keep it like that. Okay, so wow, sorry that took so long. I'll do a once around here so you can see the vehicle from all different angles. We are on a camera I'm not familiar with. I'm trying to see how far into the video we are, but I don't see. Oh, 8.5 minutes. Yikes! I want the videos to be 10 minutes to 13 minutes at the longest. Camper often is almost 20 minutes. This window is broken. It's been covered over with some sort of a cover over thingy, just like some white plastic. Not good. Bike rack on the back. There are plastic windows all the way around. They're a very common type of window from camping cars of this era. They have a screen that is retractable, a shade that is retractable, and then the whole window itself can open on some air struts. Has a hitch member, I don't think the seller mentioned that, and a trailer light hookup, which is very cool if you want to tug something with this. But with a 2.6 liter gasoline engine, there's only so much you can tug. Like none of the cars in there, I think. You can hear the kids playing in Japanese. This park has been very popular since COVID. I don't know why. And Japan, I think, has been doing pretty well with COVID, even though we haven't started vaccinations yet. Okay, alright. So, we'll talk about some of the damage on the front and show some up close of it. Feel free to skip around the video, of course, if you want to see it. So this is a plastic bumper cap piece. There is paint fade and scratches on it. The front bumper has big ouchie C3 on it. It's bad, and it's super noticeable. I recommend taking that off completely and putting a new bumper on. Now it looks like it's leaking, it's not. I just opened up the coolant. And the coolant should be replaced. It looks pretty gross. Hood. You can see that paint finish damage. And then there's the U2 over there with some paint cracks, just like it said. Okay, cowl rust has been repaired there by the looks of it. The Y3 is a large crack on the over fender in the paint. You can see there as well the finish. If you look closely, it's got a lot of like kind of bad finish on it anyway. Here, same thing with the fade. Side panels are actually pretty good, but they're like, I mean, there's metal here. The metal dents. The fiberglass doesn't dent. There's not much metal to hit when the fiberglass comes out that far. It kind of is a dent prevention device. Mirrors are super funny. It's a different mirror completely. That's on a stick. Custom made or pipe? I don't know. When you're driving, it feels really awkward. Usually when you drive a camper, you get big mirrors here, but this is just a tiny little one. Even by car standards, it's a tiny little mirror. And it's on both sides. And it's just like, you can see the triangle here and everything. Okay, seam between the body and the fiberglass. All very nice. Have a look at the side panel here. As far as four-wheel drives go, great approach angle. Not so great departure angle. If you're going to be off-roading, I recommend raising the back. I believe it's on leaf springs. Leafs are super easy to raise. Either you can get an aftermarket shackle kit to raise that up. It won't help with articulation, but you don't need that with a camper. But it will give you a little bit more clearance on the back here, which, depending on what kind of off-roading you're doing, might be needed. The coolest tail lights in the world. They are Mazda Proceed turned 90 degrees tail lights. Super cool. All right, reverse camera is up there, and a cool little sheet that you put on. Buses have these. Allows you to see a much wider range than you typically can see. Okay, we're not going into the camping box yet. We will do that pretty soon. Oh, this piece is coming off. And I'll give you a quick little look at the surface rust on the underside. Okay, now surface rust usually looks worse than it is. You really have to start jabbing things with a screwdriver to see how bad that it is. Now if it were mine, I would brush all the rust off and seal it with something like a Pour 15. Oh, and there's the oil Nijimi. Nijimi is like a minor leak. It looks like it might be a little bit more than a minor leak. You can see it's a little bit wet on that cross member. Whoops. There. But it does not drip down, as far as I can see. All right, into the camper. Here's the door card. It's a little bit tight in here, but the Hiluxes are tight too. The Toyota, you know, people ask me for Sunrunners. I guess that's similar to the Hilux camper here. There's the seat. The auction sheet, remember, said a 10 centimeter rip. It's actually only that long. Otherwise, the seat is okay. The outside bolster is a little bit lower, hence the saggy seat mentioned. The back of the seat and the passenger seat are both okay. Steering wheel, it's full wood, so you can refinish it if you need to, but it feels a lot better than most. A lot of times you'll get to feel the wood after the varnish wears itself off. Okay. 5-speed manual, did I mention that? That's kind of weird in a camper. I think people who like manuals, like me, really want a 5-speed manual, but not a lot of people really want a 5-speed manual, but it certainly helps with a smaller engine camper, because then you can keep the RPMs exactly where you want them to be. There's the 5-speed, and just in the rarity factor, it's very cool to have. And we get asked about it a lot, so. All right. Selectable, yeah, kind of dirty and gross in here. Has been smoked in, but it doesn't really smell like cigarettes. Speaker just laying down there. It is plugged in. That one has no speaker in it. This one has a speaker behind the speaker. Yeah, kind of a do-it-yourself kind of thing. This is broken. If somebody knows what an RFW is, tell me, because I don't know what it is. And I feel at this point, if I don't know what stuff is, it must be really obscure or weird. AC, not the strongest. It seems like it works, but it's not the strongest. Okay, not a ton of headroom. There's like 3 centimeters above my head for a 5'10" person who sits in a super upright seat compared to most people. If you are lacking headroom, you can lean this back a bit. I think most people prefer it to be leaned back a bit. It's cool that it's a king cab. I didn't even realize this when we bought it because there's only 2 doors. But yeah, there's place in there for people. Really cool. Okay, into the camper. How many minutes are we at? 15. Wow. Not cool, Derek. Stop wasting time. This one here goes to a an inner cargo area underneath the sofa couch, which is kind of cool. Oh, here's something really lame, and this is a reality of when you buy from auctions. The car has a locking fuel cap, but the seller didn't have a key, nor did they put a key for this one here. So you can't lock it right now. It came locked. I crawled in through the other area in order to unlock it. But yeah, there are no extra keys. The auction doesn't have them, and the books didn't have them, and that can happen, and there's nothing you can do about it if that's the case. And so, super sucky. I'm not sure exactly what we're going to do with the fuel cap. I'll make another video for that a little bit later. So, the interior, one of the more unique ones that I've ever seen. I'll show you here. 2 steps to get in. Okay, so this one here has your typical 2 seats and a table. And then the couch on the side. All of this is pretty normal for a Japanese camper, but you have a big distance between that wall and that wall compared to most campers here in Japan. I'm not sure exactly why that is. All of the kit out. This. Watch out, because that's right at head level. Actually, you can take a look at me. Hey, it's Derek. That's how high it is for a 5'10" person, and that's pretty consistent from front to back here. Okay, so real wood countertop, very cool. A lot of times it's just laminates. Has a decent sized sink. Has a burner right next to each other. Very easy to get in and out and around this area here. I like it a lot. Power inverter here. Fridge, but the fridge can't open very wide. It knocks into this, which is hard mounted. Okay. That looks like it might have been a bit do-it-yourself. I think that the particle board was extra installed because they wanted extra tall spices and stuff. Other do-it-yourselfy stuff. This probably needs a refinish. Cup holders, a little bit weird. Burner. Pencil. Yeah, panda collection. Everybody wants a panda collection. I'll leave that for you. You can have JDM goodies. Here's what I'm talking about with that thing. Cool, right? Cabinets up here. They're actually quite deep, deeper than your average ones. Usually you get this style of cabinet up here on both sides. This one has just a shelf up on this side and then nothing on this side, which makes it feel a little bit more spacious in here than a typical camper. 3 lights. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, got it right. A TV that is mounted on like shelf angles. Okay, and here's something really weird. Check this out. Open up this. It's like a closet, right? And that's where I put the cable in that box. But down there has a water drain and a little window to the outside world. What is going on? Why is there like a waterproof thing with a drain? Because this is usually like a shower type thing. It makes me wonder if this back end here wasn't installed separately from original. It might have been original toilet with a shower there. Different thing here, maybe different style of cabinet to give it a little bit more room. I'm not sure. It does look official, but I don't know. This isn't big enough to be a shower. Could you imagine trying to fit in there? That's like 35 centimeters. not ideal place to shower. It's a mystery. Okay, now these turn into your bed very simply. You can take this, it just comes off. You put that here, and you do the flip-de-doo with these seats. So this one stays put. That one there goes into here, and then this one goes down to replace where it was. The table, this is weird. I'm not sure exactly what's going on here. It looks like a camper table, but it has legs, but the legs are just floating legs. I guess you can take this off and then you can put it somewhere. And these legs are a very common style of leg for cheap tables here. They fold and then they come out. They lock by the tensility. I'm making up words. Yeah, kind of weird, but because that stick is there, the pole in the middle, you can't fold this in. It hits it. Super weird. Okay, medium small size window. Another one here. This is the broken one. You can see the broken sections in there, but it still has I can't do this very well with one hand, but it has the screen and the shutter and stuff like that. That goes to the driving area, and then a very open style bed area. Very cool. It's not the longest. I would say probably about 160 centimeters by 160 centimeters approximately. But it is very big distance between the ceiling and the bottom section, so you don't feel like you're a sardine in a can. Okay, has a light up there as well as two windows, no window on the front, and a little pillow thing there. You can take this piece out if you want a full go through. It's cool. I love campers. Okay, so that is that. I'm done this camper. We got lots of stuff to do. My gosh. You know why? Because everyone sees these camper videos and they're like, I want the house camper. And then we get like 40 emails a week for campers, and only one of those 40 people ends up buying one, because we tell people you can get a camper, but you have to buy one without ever seeing it and get what you get. And then most people are turned off by that. So anyways, I don't need to go into details about that. That's all we have for this. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much, and have a nice day.